Today, I find myself as the sole viewer who can enjoy this unique live broadcast room experience. By the way, hey Ryan, I just heard he is traveling to Singapore soon. How are you doing? Ryan, how have you been?
Hey, okay, I initially thought I could hesitate. No. Hey there, hey there, hey there, you over there.
No, because, well, today, actually, the Hong Kong stock market, for me, I don't believe it's a surprise at all because it doesn't really matter whether it's at 1280 or any other number. It's none of my business, honestly speaking. It's not my concern if it's true or not regarding 10,000. 19,286 points, which means that 66 points earned from MSI. Oh, in the middle of it all, of course, there exists a past, but it's definitely not just simply the end. Well, it has skyrocketed, but this is today's transaction, 128.5 billion. Do you have any comments on the Hong Kong stock market? Today, I noticed that the majority of people were purchasing shares of Tencent, and the capital flows seem to be predominantly directed towards Tencent. Hey, but instead of betting on the stock market, the stocks on the stock market are generally falling, but the Jinsha stock fell by 4%.
Yes. Well, technically speaking, this 2-day uptrend is referred to as a backlash, so you can consider looking at it as a distinct form. This is because Hong Kong stocks are not that good for you. That is, the technical trends are close to each other, and you cannot simply look at a single indicator and analyze it. As for Home, when it comes to this position, I think its biggest obstacle is that you first have to look at the 10-day chart. The 10-day chart is 19,300, 11,9348. These are the positions. Ah, here I go. Hey, can you see if it has enough kinetic energy? I can't say anything for the time being, which obviously increases the kinetic energy. It's almost the Chinese New Year for you. It's Chinese New Year, a major festival, and Hong Kong stocks are also experiencing a significant event. Ah, I see, because a significant portion of your income originates from the mainland, but I can't help but feel that you can return home safely even during the busy Chinese New Year. There is no conversation at all for now, but there is really some increase in total volume. What has changed is that Hong Kong stocks are temporarily lacking a new impetus to move upwards, so I just looked at the top few positions, the first 10-day moving average and the second 50-day moving average, 19,788. The third one actually has to be seen to be exactly 20,000 points, which is the lower axis of an ascending channel. In fact, the Hong Kong stock market was 8th last year. Hey, since August last year, it has been in an upward channel, that is the form, but now it has broken through this upward channel. If this situation persists, meaning if it continues to uphold this position and run rampant without restraint, we will have a limited number of opportunities to successfully dismantle and destroy this ascending channel effectively. What if we consider both the advantages and disadvantages of the situation? I'll just look at the 100-110D position. In September last year, 181 faced resistance as a high level. The Hong Kong stock market's consistent failures offer a chance for decline, but one can only observe rather than participate in this downturn. So in fact, it's not very motivating to strive for improvement. I believe there is little chance of reverting back.
So, we have discussed Tencent previously. In fact, it was quite urgent when we were recording the show just last week. Well, yes indeed, a whole week has now passed by. The system has yet to address the gap from the last emergency. From Tencent's viewpoint, the capital flow isn't surprising. Some individuals are eager to capitalize on it. Clip back to the previous resistance level of 430 for clarity.
Oh, what a disaster. If you look at the pattern of Heng Seng, you will find that it is actually trapped by the 10-day line we just talked about. This seems to be a foreshadowing. The Hong Kong stock market is stable. Hey, in fact, how big is the resistance of around 390 mosquitoes above 10 cent? We successfully completed it last week. Actually, we didn't have a bad opportunity. We are discussing the midterm, short-term rebound isn't sufficient motivation. The overall trend and individual stocks are positive, but lack motivation. In your situation, you're causing issues with Tencent and have been tracking for 6 months, with June showing potential for success. To go out, you'll need to save some money, which will be collected by June. From your short-term view, it seems to lack momentum.
Yes, for me personally, it won't be until June because there are currently many speculative factors affecting the market. Well, it's all very speculative stuff, you know. Come on, you all know just how much I like Chun Chun. Hey there, just a friendly reminder that I'm still one of Chun's friends.
Why are you speculating?
Therefore, because Chun Chun really has too many opportunities like this. But, to be honest, the same thing is true, eh? Chun Chun actually is only 5 days, and he's already going to take office in 5 days, so that's it. However, before officially taking office, it appeared that he faced several significant crises that required his immediate attention. Specifically, we are referring to the ongoing and severe wildfire problem that has been affecting California for years, posing threats to both the environment and local communities. Absolutely! Today I genuinely want to have a conversation with Ryan regarding the ongoing California wildfire issue. Why? Hey, because first of all, it is not under control. And home, the news is talking about it, just talking, the typhoon has continued to intensify. That is Santa Ana, the wind has intensified. After that, in fact, a few days ago, it was already under control. and the California wildfires were under control. Hey, but it's all the same thing. That is, the words are floating all the way, and there is no water. It's a water problem. There is no reason why your fire faucets will have no water. Well, the second important thing to consider is that firefighters are not sufficient in number. Well, the only thing is that we burned something this time, and that is to talk about some rich areas. Take a moment to look at me. In reality, it's the same thing. Biden hasn't made any public statements about the situation. On the contrary, Chun Chun, there is something about talking about things just making trouble, and there is no water flow in terms of water control. Then he said that the firefighters couldn't solve the problem, and so on. He once posed a curious question. While it felt like an omen, I truly wonder if Ryan even noticed it. He just mentioned that he believed he would have a significant opportunity to address the situation. Due to the ongoing issue with the destructive California wildfires, he said he would implement something referred to as an emergency economic initiative or something along those lines. Well, on the one hand, there are relatively few reports from Taiwan, but from Hong Kong. But when it comes to reports in Taiwan, they just talk about this policy, and they also say that they have regulated this Australia and what will happen to the economic situation in the future. Things like that. As for tariffs, I am actually more concerned about the impact, because originally we talked about tightening tariffs. If an emergency economy is implemented, it will be a state of economic emergency. Then it can use a law called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, and then it can take action to impose large-scale tariffs. Of course, everyone knows that when Chun Chun comes on stage, he will definitely increase tariffs vigorously. I've already said it myself, that's it. But on one hand, and on the other hand, the devastating California wildfires, will they serve as a critical factor in yet another Sino-US geopolitical game, similar to our topic today? Taste this.
Hey, I don't think it's necessarily the most important factor, but it definitely has a noticeable impact if you blow dry your hair. It's akin to trying to extinguish a raging mountain fire. Now, everyone is increasingly worried. Hey, strong winds are expected to blow soon. It certainly intensified the raging fire, but it wasn't solely due to the strong wind that a wildfire occurred. A wildfire has just started in your house, and strong winds are intensifying the situation. You will just become more out of control. Yes, I think this is exactly the situation of Sino-US relations. So, to be honest, if we link one link to another, the economy will, just like this, of course, there are some people who talk about these slippery slope theories. But there are some. In fact, if you look back at the past 10 years, it is the trajectory. I have also seen that there is a degree of rationality. So what I agree with is that if you have, even if it is a situation such as a wildfire, it will lead to a situation. Could it be that once the tariffs are increased, it will definitely be the case if you increase the tariffs? In other words, if we frame it in a more negative light, the dynamics in relationships between countries certainly reflect this. Hey, in addition, it's worth noting that some people are genuinely worried about the increasing frequency of wildfires, which could potentially impact you, especially if you become involved in the necessary reconstruction efforts and related activities in the aftermath. If certain supply chains are significantly affected, there is a chance that they may ultimately become completely blocked. This will affect inflation, but hey, the perspective from some brokers is not quite as negative as it may seem. Let's talk about it for now. The impact in this area is still relatively slight.
Department. The discussion included securities companies, specifically mentioning Morgan Stanley. I believe the recent fire incident may result in a reduction in job growth by approximately 1 month, between 15,000 and 20,000 jobs. But as we all know, the employment data is the new employment data in December to 256,000. In fact, the number is relatively mild, but perhaps it will impact something after all. I would like to inquire about the current price of second-hand cars. Because you can probably see that with regard to wildfires. Apart from the fact that there is no water and not enough firefighters, the rescue is also blocked because there are so many cars talking. Well, it's parked in a certain position so that some firefighters can't get in to put out the fire, that's it. Look, but at the same time, we all saw a lot of news footage, a lot of cars all burned down like that. Morgan Stanley's focus includes the prices of key products like used and new cars, which are significant since car ownership is prevalent in the United States. Without a car, one faces mobility challenges. If you have possibly burned many cars in the past, and if there is even a slight chance that in this particular industry or related products there may be a noticeable increase in price, do you think you would actually like that situation?
This is indeed possible, yes, but it tends to be relatively short-lived. Hey, I think you may still remember it. It was during the epidemic. Yes, there were also situations where some second-hand cars were extremely expensive. Well, you can't buy a new car. You can buy a new car, but I can't deliver it to you. You can only purchase second-hand cars. Oh, but it really is so expensive. This will happen to me in the short term. That is in the short term. Hey, if you talk about cars, if I see a single news, it is worth mentioning. If you really want to give credit to Tesla, yes, you don't know if you have seen it. Tesla is Elon Musk. Hey, he sent several brand new Cybertrucks, but he delivered a whole bunch of them to the disaster-stricken area. Any idea? Hundreds of them, as far as I remember. There were hundreds of them, yes. Hey there, just like before, a new Starlink service has also been launched. Ah, yes, another Starlink. Going to the disaster area to save lives. Disaster-affected areas confront multiple significant issues. Ah, it's you. Even though some people have mobile phones, it's the same. There's no way you can't get help if you ask for help. Yes, because there is no network. Some base stations have been damaged. Tired. Then he could simply continue heading straight forward, as their safari truck transported them one by one to the underground terminus, which included a restroom located in the disaster area. Actually, let's take a closer look at a few interesting options. The first one is your Tesla Road K from California. This is his main base of operations, California. This particular choice is truly the most suitable option available. As we all know, Elon Musk is currently not residing in California either, as he has made significant moves to establish himself elsewhere. These political stances are completely different from those of traditional California businesses. Well, since I am good at everything, I will lose some points. You are incredibly strong as a sandbag, able to handle going in and out of fire scenes effortlessly.
Oh, then.
And yes, indeed, these are precisely the same concepts. That is, first and foremost, you are presenting some relevant examples of ESG that are directly related. If you do something, it means giving back to the society, playing a social role, and making contributions. It is a valuable contribution, but it also brings a positive benefit for one's own company, creating a truly complete win-win situation. The building appeared tight before I checked the market. However, it ultimately doesn't matter, as I believe this situation is similar to that of Tesla. Even if you offer applause and give credit, each action is taken individually, or so I think.
If you mention this, it's acceptable if it's merely a publicity fee. Isn't that correct?
Hey, it's all right, really. What he has, Shabato, it doesn't cause a total loss if it leads to a fire incident. After the event, you can always sell it back at half the price. These sandbags, by the way, came out of their original packaging, and they were initially delivered to others and later handed over to different parties.
Once the rice is tied, it is given to someone. Is there a delay after eating the rice batches?
He discusses delays with this group. Oh, there is something like, because I know before handing over the car, he will send the vehicle inspection number of each car to each car, the new car owner, the prospective car owner. Dear. Some car owners have installed Tim already. He mentioned that he was quite close to the car, yet he ultimately decided to send the vehicle to the disaster area. However, I truly believe that Americans, even those who may seem indifferent, understand that it doesn't really matter if you occasionally pay for some cars late. However, these items, like the ones you possess, could potentially save your life, so I believe I can manage without speaking to you.
Yes, same thing. Well, you mentioned Tesla. Well, there is actually some news today, both of which are about Morgan Stanley. It's also exaggerated. Damo confidently turned up the volume on the Tesla's audio system and suggested that if it truly is the best vehicle on the market, then let's discuss its performance over the longest possible duration. There is a possibility that the target price could potentially reach $800. What are your thoughts on this? What I am saying is, he mentioned confidently that he possesses exceptional intelligence and will be the driving force behind Tesla's impressive rise like this. At the same time, he said that Tesla's stock price has risen recently, which has reflected the expanding surface area between Tesla and physical artificial intelligence. So even if we are discussing advanced robots, the same company will also be involved in various tasks such as extensive data collection, efficient energy storage solutions, and sophisticated artificial intelligence calculations, among other related activities. He mentioned that he believed he had a good chance largely due to the various factors at play and the way nature has evolved and improved, so I think there is indeed an opportunity to challenge him to 80 or perhaps even 800. That's the main point. When considering Tesla's future, the year 2025 stands out as especially unique and significant. There are indeed some truly unique combinations of skills, much like a collection of various skill groups intertwined together, don't you think?
Hey, I believe that his reasoning and thought process make him view Tesla in a very positive light. Yes, I think it is completely reasonable, and I agree with it. Well, the problem is that the 800 yuan plan came out. I think 400 yuan is not enough for us. It is a double and its stock price. Strictly speaking, the PE is hundreds of times. Take a look and be frightened first. Yes, more than 190 times, is it? It should be around 100, right? I was scared. It happened so quickly. Yes, let's see. It's very fast. Hey, PE is 109 times. It's 109 times. Hey, hi, let's be serious. The MVDA is about 50 times. Even if I don't compare it with other real estate stocks, I compare it with other technology stocks. You're leaning towards the pricey side. Yes, yes, yes. Unless expectations shift to overly optimistic levels, that is. Otherwise, I personally feel that this valuation cannot support the stock price, which will rise to 800 yuan in a short period of time. What do you expect it will be like by the end of the year? You have to look at the market sentiment, really.
And you never know, a lot of things can happen. What will Elon Musk do next? Maybe suddenly people will be carried up there, and after they are carried up, there will be SpaceX. What? Yes. Then the stock price was stimulated.
Hey, I would like you to please go up one step and tighten that 7-digit number securely. Uh-huh. Are there really that many who can afford it? Yes. Hey, last time we landed, we did it together, and we should do it live again. Yes, discussing Xiaoping's car, it seems like the prices are incredibly high, akin to 2 or 3 balls. Many can achieve 2 or 3 goals unrelated to purchasing and reselling a car. These expansive longing spaces feel incredibly dreamy, but it seems to be easy to implement, yes. These items or goals are relatively within reach for us. Look at you, living that Sex and the City lifestyle, huh? Of course, it's just that, well, it feels more dreamy. There's a vague limit to it all, but if it genuinely falls to the ground, there are indeed a lot of people who will be affected. Hey, let's go to the space in the car. Then everyone will worry about the sustainability, and it will not be enough to become a catalyst for the stock price.
Hey, let's talk about Tesla first because it's a fascinating topic. We can go on and on about Tesla and its innovations. Just a few days ago, an audience member unexpectedly PM'd me and shared a picture of the latest version of the Model Y, showcasing its impressive features and updates. It really piqued my interest. No, that's it.
Please remember that it was supposed to be open for orders starting last week.
Oh yes, the car will be delivered as soon as May. Look, the rear-wheel drive version, if you change it, it starts at 339,000. That's it. Then I suddenly remember, I don't quite know, I can't get that memory back, but I seem to have seen one of those remarkable items. The most popular version was sold for more than $200,000, and it was located in mainland China. Specifically, it was a Model Y. By the way, hey, your friend just sent you a message with a line of lights that looks quite intriguing.
Yes, this is the 2nd generation Model Y coming, yes. So, the tightness in mainland China and Hong Kong is due to factors unrelated to the new version in Hong Kong. It was launched in Hong Kong on December 31st last year. The most popular ones are the 1st generation Model Y, that is the 2-lamp Model Y. I need to clear out the stock before purchasing the new Gold, and that will be fine. Oh, those are the lowest end ones with 200,000 yuan. Oh, that's right.
Buy it early and enjoy it. No need to say anything else.
Something like that. It's almost the end of the year, and while you keep saying to stay current, you still need to transfer money to buy a car.
Do you think it will be affordable to buy a car at the end of the year?
The car's age is determined from when it leaves the factory, not when registered. Hey, if you decide to purchase a 2024 car in 2025, it's wise to go a year early as the laws and regulations differ significantly in every place. In Hong Kong, vehicle inspections are required in the 7th year. Your car requires earlier inspection.
But, some people are just talking. Will they have a chance? They want to fight because, Xiaomi has all the momentum. You see SY7. Look, this sales seems to be very good. Look, there are some YU7. So these people just keep talking tight. Maybe Tesla wants to target China. There are strong competitors, so I will launch a new model soon and sell it at a lower price.
Hey, it seems like it must be correct. You really can't help it. Everyone has the same viewpoint, right? We are all currently at the same level, but for now, in these early stages, well, it's truly a very brief period of time. Xiaomi cannot threaten Tesla. The purpose is to examine the data. You see, Xiaomi's production capacity is far from Tesla's. Yes, it's several times the competition. Yes, but you cannot completely rule out the possibility that Xiaomi will continue to steadily increase its production capacity, even if it is represented by a young man who practices martial arts. Ah, so he might just be a 1st-degree black belt. Hey, Tesla is actually a 7th-degree black belt in martial arts. But he will never be unable to achieve victory, and he will consistently struggle to compete effectively in the ring. Sustain. So it takes some time.
Well, so everyone can pay full attention to Tesla once again because the stock price of Tesla is currently hovering around 390 and you can observe it today. However, it has the potential to surge higher, possibly reaching up to 480 in the near future. The offer is 480, 484. In fact, they still reside in a bustling location within a rapidly developing area. Let's discuss the stock price trend in detail, including how you might anticipate its movement and what the current position could indicate so everyone can closely monitor it. That's all.
Tesla, be careful. As for that matter, regarding technical trends, it indeed has a connection to it, even if it appears to resemble Aspire, it truly does. These positions, let me take a closer look at them first. I just opened a 1 hour chart for reference, but I think it would be better to switch over to the daily chart to gain a clearer perspective on the trends. Hey, damn, my system is not in the same position as yours. Some positions are reversed because it doesn't matter. They are all watching my daily chart and the family is La, eh? So for this reason, the daily chart is correct. Are yin yang candles available? Let me come down first. Hey, just to clarify, there should indeed be some indicators present. Yes, that's correct. Also, well, some of these patterns are identified from the head and shoulders formation. Please be careful. The neckline is positioned at approximately 423. Yes, these positions can't be broken through. There are 2 on top of the canal, 2 or 2 to 3. Please take a look. Some patterns may indicate a double top or a head and shoulders top, but the neckline is crucial and it will return 423 mosquitoes. This is a positive outcome. So its stock price continues to be the same. That is, it has completed this period of adjustment. Otherwise, the next stop is look at 373 mosquitoes first. Hey, I took another look at it, and the price was only 327. Yes. That and what Zhenghua said, Tesla has always been a very expensive stock. Yes. This situation is actually quite detrimental to his well-being. He must, as long as the valuation is high, it is not just that the price will buy him, but as long as the valuation is high, he must have a steady stream of stocks to supply him. If that is indeed the case, then the stock price has the potential to continue rising steadily. In fact, the sustainability of the stock price can likely be maintained over time.
Well, you can take a closer look at the Tesla aspect. The US side, however, faces a different issue that needs attention. I want to discuss it in detail with Ryan. In fact, just last week, there was a significant issue concerning the US side regarding the non-farm payrolls data. Talking about growth, in fact, people were surprised because the initial estimate, the first expectation, was 155,000 people. You know, once you get a number, it becomes a matter of doing it. I just mentioned it. It's 25. 256,000, which is a specific number. So, counting these 3 months, even in the past 3 months, it is actually the largest increase. Those people are just keeping their expectations high. Hey, do you think the Federal Reserve's motivation to cut interest rates this year will actually lead to a reduction in those rates? Even if the economic data is so good, you can't find it. Just talk about the unemployment rate and other data. They all unexpectedly dropped by 0.1% this month, falling from last month's rate of 4.2% to a new figure of 4.1%, which surprised many analysts. In addition, the average hourly wage has seen an increase of 0.3% month on month. Therefore, analysts feel that this performance aligns well with broader market expectations regarding wage growth, the hourly wage. Well, some people, in fact, have actually reduced their bets on potential interest rate cuts due to changing economic conditions. Hey, I clearly remember that after the Japanese stock market closed for the day, the S&P 500 was extremely shocked. Then the value of the US dollar rose sharply. Waiting for people, I don't know why I am so tired because of related reasons, even if it involves Bitcoin.
It's dead, and it is definitely related. Seven, you demolish your warehouse because, you have to bury a debt, all your debts, the bond market is all bad. The worst thing is, foretell. Even if the debt interest rate has soared, it means, well, there is actually even some panic among everyone. Will it turn around? The interest rate reduction was effective, but reversing it and increasing rates could cause issues. Yes, because of you, everyone actually understands in our hearts that your real economy is still very fragile, even in terms of motivation. Well, if the overall cost of capital increases significantly, not only will inflation likely not be suppressed effectively, but the profitability of many companies will be put under considerable pressure as well. In light of these circumstances, it will understandably lead everyone to harbor concerns regarding the overall state of the stock market. Hey, what you mentioned about Bitcoin is interesting. I received something back today, around $97,000. Yes, it's indeed called Dingy Ding. You saw a total of 97 earlier. In fact, Gus mentioned it all before. Samson and Gus, yes. He mentioned that these fluctuations are simply very ordinary occurrences. An analyst from Standard Chartered noted that the price has surpassed $90,000, indicating a potential drop to $80,000. Well, actually, the increase is fast, that's right, but it goes fast, the range is large, and it's a little scary, but this is cryptocurrency, Especially Bitcoin, the leader, has this characteristic. I'm not feeling overly pessimistic just yet. For the time being, the factors influencing the upcoming 1 to 2 seasons will indeed be more manageable and acceptable than before. That means the trend of Bitcoin will be a little bit different. Debt can be beneficial, similar to gold. There is a connection regarding its overall effect, but it will significantly amplify the increase. Yes, while I'm not overly concerned about the situation, I recognize that the market can be quite risky, making it challenging to pursue or invest in these products effectively. Yes, it's all fundamentally about virtual assets, precious gold, various debts, and different bonds. Hey, but after being defeated, I might as well gather some fear. I thought, well, it's okay again. Counting to half a year and counting to the end of the year, there is actually a certain chance of winning.
Let's discuss our shared experiences and perspectives, even if we gather our thoughts gradually. It's nice that we both share a similar title represented by this banner. Absolutely, Eddie. We have all talked about this, and indeed, everyone is now able to easily trade Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. But everyone needs to open an account. You need a securities account to open an additional account. After the certified account is followed, first open the virtual asset account. It's all because of regulatory requirements.
Hey, everyone mentioned it, everyone has to answer it, so this one is the only one. Hey, today in fact, the highly anticipated CPI index for December in the United States will be officially announced, specifically the Consumer Price Index, which is important for economic analysis and so on. Wow, is there some inflation?
Well, let's just say, the Federal Reserve doesn't solely focus on broad economic data. It specifically examines the Personal Consumption Expenditures, PCE index, which includes various consumer goods and the Consumer Price Index. Hey, the Consumer Price Index must be seen, of course, everyone will be paying close attention to it and observing it closely, especially the rising prices of energy and food and the impact this has on the personal index. Well, but I have said before, the epidemic, so to speak, your inflation is due to the geopolitical situation and the supply chain setbacks. Hey, it's not simply because the economy is overheating, but as far as the central bank is concerned, all it can do is manipulate monetary policy. Ah, that's right, suppressing inflation. Well, that approach may not be very effective in achieving results. For the time being, inflation is an important factor that we must closely pay attention to.
System. Oh, so everyone can pay attention to it. If hypothetically, CPI is lower than expected. Hey, because we have already mentioned it, the employment data was released, which is actually good. If their consumer price index or CPI is performing well, then naturally the market is flourishing, creating a significant opportunity for growth and investment.
Is that true? No, everyone is worried about overheating. However, keep in mind that if a consumer price index, CPI report comes in slightly lower than anticipated, it can be very beneficial for a thriving market. Yes, it certainly aligns well with our expectations. Hey, it's higher than expected. Hey, I'm actually worried that this will continue to be the same as last week. Hey, it will continue to be the same as last week. Well, under the circumstances of inflation, it will happen. It is called acceleration. In fact, it is two things. Prices have risen and the value of banknotes has decreased. The decline in silver paper value is humorous. But the pressing question is, will the rate of depreciation suddenly change in an unexpected manner? That's not it. That for the time being, we are just maintaining the usual pace of depreciation. System. Well, so a moderate inflation can be expected. It will definitely happen. Okay, on the other hand, is there currently any significant break in the supply of certain goods, or is it completely blocked? Well, the ongoing trade war is certainly an obvious and significant factor. Then, as time goes on, the chance of this happening will grow bigger and bigger. Plus, Adam Trump is here. I want to drink again, so here he comes. Yes. I'm about to assume office. Everyone's concerns and worries about this aspect are getting bigger and bigger.
Yes, I have been reading some news from Dongfang Weekly, and that's because it has to deal with Canada, and besides China, it has to expand Canada. The tariff is huge. Come to think of it, Canada is the 51st state of the United States. That's it. Even so, it's great. Yes. I laughed a little. It was a bit funny, but you can pay attention to the next 5 days. After 5 days, the market changes will be different. In addition, apart from these 5 days, you should pay attention to one thing. In fact, you should pay attention to the next thing every day. Is this Naphidia? Naphidia exists due to Huang Renfen's arrival in Taiwan. Nvidia has been scheduled for the morning, and here's the daily chart. It's like 127. Hey, the front row of C's actually has several useful adjustments available. If I take a closer look at the weekly chart, I notice that it features a black candlestick, which is significant. This is definitely something that requires my attention. I've mentioned everything, including Wang Yingfen. Soon, I will be traveling to Taiwan to spend some time there, and I am eager to attend his company's upcoming spring party. He mentioned that he wanted to try some delicious food from Taiwan, particularly reminiscent of the lively night market he often visits. However, another important aspect is that he will be traveling to Taiwan, where his most crucial supplier is the TSMC facility. And food. The primary objective is to visit these two specific locations so we can reconnect and meet once more. That's it. Hey, in fact, TSMC has been actively expanding its innovative system known as CoWoS and its advanced platform called Cosmos in recent times. This strategic move has significantly increased its production capacity to meet the growing demand in the semiconductor industry. Yes, the channel is indeed expanding, primarily because it is essential to mention that the global demand for AI technology is exceptionally strong. However, when it comes to advanced chips, high-performance computing, HPC chips are rising sharply in popularity, and it seems that the supply currently exceeds the demand. So Huang Renfen needs to go over to the clinic and get a shot to determine what kind of discomfort and other aspects are involved. Regarding the direct products, it is crucial for us to pay close attention to their development and performance. This year, we plan to expand our investment in production capacity by upgrading and acquiring related equipment, while also exploring effective strategies to enhance our supply chain and ensure consistent availability of these products. That is to say, the entire supply chain can be either smoother or more stable overall.
Hey, let's take a closer look at the EVDR data together. Well, regarding EVDR, I continue to maintain the same point of view from last week. This is a special price period, so you should take it as it is. The main concern in the market right now is quite significant. People are worried that its products may face comprehensive challenges across the board. Certain high-end products are highly profitable but cannot be sold to China or face significant restrictions on their sale. Oh, what a great place. Well, what everyone has clearly noticed about this situation is that, as you mentioned, the market demand for AI chips continues to grow. There are also some industry reports that confirm this point. Strictly speaking, this situation will be maintained in the next few years, and the industry structure will also be maintained. Even so, NVDA continues to have a market share of maybe 80% to 90%, and it is a chip of this level. But everyone has to think like this. Does everyone actually buy chips? Well, at least at the retail level, you don't buy them. At the retail level, at least you don't buy them, AI. The chip is not some series. Well, it's not as if all of its customers are simply just chips, you know. Well, it's certainly an industry, and indeed everyone has seen it. That's correct, yes. EGA chips are in hot demand. In fact, the demand for ordinary chips is not so hot. Some mid to high computing power is not really that hot, because your economy is still struggling to maintain a slow pace. Okay. Oh, well, don't be so pessimistic, because as always, you are like China, actively procuring a vast array of industrial products, including a significant number of electric vehicles and other advanced technologies. Smart cars, represent smart driving technology. You can choose to be their economic supporter or the driving force behind their growth. Hey, in these countries, there is a consistent and growing demand for certain high-end chips, and for these premium chips, it seems there is always a challenge. Everyone desires them, no more, no less, and a percentage of the demand will be met with Meta's generous offerings. So I'm just saying that for now, it's not like I'm planning to say anything directly to him. It's just, well, it feels like, you're being too destructive in your actions, and it's really concerning. Therefore, if this is indeed the case, FDA is priced at approximately 130 yuan, which clearly indicates that it is undoubtedly a stock offering excellent value for money. Now, as for your valuation, some people say that more than 50 times is very expensive, but it is a market that they are playing with. If the market is playing with it, I think your PE of 50 times is too high. It's reasonable. There is room for growth in Kauai.
Yes, I have continuously been discussing the ongoing chip war. As for the United States, it was actually reported that these discussions were taking place just before President Biden left office. Well, I believe that actually in the upcoming few days, a comprehensive series of strategic measures should be launched. If we continue to engage in this ongoing chip war, if given the opportunity, we ought to strongly encourage TSMC and Samsung to tighten the supply of chips to China and effectively control that situation. That's it. Let's just say, well, that's certainly one particular thing to consider. Yes, is it the Chinese side? Yes, if you want to make a steamed bun, how do you do it?
Actually, it doesn't have to be disturbing. You can share this story just as if you were having a casual conversation with others. For instance, we develop it ourselves, relying on SMIC, and we produce our own chips from start to finish. But actually, you have seen them all. There are some foreign versions, that is Chinese electric cars. Of course, they are high-end. After taking them apart, in fact, you will be familiar with them down to the lowest chip, face. What do you truly mean by that statement? Hey, it means that you cannot easily change the composition of the supply chain in a short amount of time due to various complexities involved. What has notably changed? This also clearly reflects the broader global economic situation, as the demand for chips continues to fall.
Yes, I just opened the door to Intel, which is a major player in the tech industry. Hey, even though it actually supplies essential chips, it's the same as Samsung and TSMC. TSMC is a key focus as we discuss the opening of chip production. But now we look at Intel first, and then we look at Intel's stock price. Hey, in fact, why did it fall so badly? Now it's worth 1.9 billion.
That's right. Why do you want to know why you are so unlucky?
No, how can it be so unlucky? I have a question I'd like to ask you.
It appears to be quite true that there is a significant and growing demand for high-end chips that possess exceptional computing power, particularly in the rapidly advancing field of artificial intelligence technology. However, for you, your remaining chips actually need to be removed from this specific category. Oh, hey, is there anyone buying a computer? What? Few people are purchasing it, resulting in a small PPC shipment volume. Yes, of course I'm not talking about granular you, but you, starting from some consumer level technology products, you have already seen it, a global macro. That is, the demand is weak, which is reflected in your shipments. You're not performing well, no, not just with computers. Similar to smartphones, your shipments are consistently flat. Overall, they're all quite weak. What has changed is, especially if you look at mainland China, it is a huge consumer market in the world. In this electronics consumer market, you can see that the consumption power is shrinking more and more. This is the situation. Well, under these circumstances, for some mid to upstream technology companies, it is actually unfavorable. Unless you really achieve MVDA, you are a high-end market. After all, you have an absolute advantage. This is another way of playing.
I have also observed that Intel is facing numerous challenges and negative developments, leading to the possibility that it may choose to discontinue the 12th generation CPU line altogether. Well, I may have participated in some salary discussions before, and hey, I invested quite a bit in the company, so, well, I'm committed. However, it's not okay to overlook my concerns, so I can consider another 12th generation of planning. Ultimately, it's just about me and my family, and it's important to ensure stability for 8 generations. Yes, it just has this problem. It said that it has been discontinued. The 12th generation of CPUs. Yes, the 12th generation of CPUs have been discontinued like that. So, I don't know if he's serious about this, but there are many employees around him who are already considering whether to leave this company, even though there doesn't seem to be any prospects. Let me tell you, you are threatening Apple's chips. Their chips do not use the x86 architecture.
Yes, Intel use the x86 architecture. Hey, Apple also uses the LM architecture. You are now the second younger generation.
It's all about family, fundamentally. But I remember that Intel was pretty good in my era.
Even though I don't have negative feelings about my era, I still rely on Intel chips at home. My notebooks use an important 8th generation i5, while my stage head is from the 7th generation.
The 12th generation of this model will soon be discontinued, so it's best to stick with earlier versions.
There is absolutely no way you can argue that anything exists which cannot be replaced by the versatile ARM architecture. What are its key benefits? It's power saving, the power management is very good, but the disadvantage is its relative stability. It's not Core 86, that is individual computing power. Well, under your high computing environment, your stability is lower, so desktop continues to use the x86 architecture CPU.
But I distinctly remember that Apple used to employ tight arms, right?
Hey, the Apple system, yes, the other department, these MacBooks, all MacBooks are running because the system requires good power management. No, because your MacBook, is experiencing some issues or problems. The company must hold a meeting, organize a program, and still have half an hour of electricity available upon return. Well, this is related to, of course it has something to do with the OS. That is, it has something to do with the operating system. However, in reality, the architecture of a CPU has a significant relationship, with performance.
Oh, and we are the only ones who have the privilege to examine ALM. I just opened the application and took a closer look at it. In fact, all the charts are incredibly beautiful. The weekly charts in particular are stunningly impressive. If you talk to these people, it is possible that although there is no such comparison, if you really want to invest in AI, chips, etc., leaving aside the fact that NVIDIA is not involved, ALM I just saw, maybe it's a gradient color. What do you think? I checked the weekly chart and found it mirrors the previous analysis, showing tightness in the 3 patterns.
That's right. Hey, ALM has a few different modes. It's interesting. This means that every single time you create a piece of ALM architecture, you will receive the extension feedback as a reimbursement.
Tie it.
Well, as you can easily imagine right away, if you think about various factors affecting the market, particularly smartphones and their shipments, these will significantly influence overall demand in the economy. In fact, it completely reflects exactly what ALM truly needs. All right, so what we're observing is a scenario where you're actually better off achieving high single-digit growth, particularly regarding these smart shipments. Yes, the price-to-earnings ratio mentioned by ALM is 233 times. I believe it seems a bit too expensive. I honestly can't beat you in any way. To tell you the truth, I don't even remember why. I own both MVD and ALM. But yes, to be completely honest, it is currently at zero cost. Just like your millet, it's practically zero cost, right? The reason is that he bought a lot of them before, so he was really anxious to join the formation. Yes.
Eating is essential, and neglecting it is considered a serious sin.
Let's keep the other microphones for now. Yes, at least engaging in asset liability management, ALM, is all you need, as it lasts for a significant period. Uh-huh.
Well, apart from ALM, we all know that the leading player is TSMC. TSMC, hey, there's absolutely no reason not to consider it, right? He arranged his strategy early on and actually formed a double top pattern, but was unable to break above the previous high. After reaching 221, a significant black candle emerged, but in reality, after opening some antenna positions, it turned out to be pretty healthy overall. Is it the 50-day antenna? All of them rely on the advanced 50-50 antenna technology. Hey, the 50-day moving average is still looking quite healthy and robust. If you take a closer look at the weekly chart, you can clearly see that it actually did not fall below the significant price bar from 10 days ago, which is a positive sign for the trend.
It's neutral, so there's no way to see it. My opinion on desktop computers depends on what kind of products you have in your portfolio. I don't possess it myself, and I currently don't sell it. In this particular case involving you, I have consistently felt that the potential risk is simply too great in certain situations. The first significant geopolitical risk arises because essentially you are consistently recognized as the most prominent and basically the sole company operating in Taiwan, which makes your role in the region incredibly important. The lifeblood of Taiwan depends on it. Neglecting the geopolitical situation can lead to unexpected risks and surprises. This is the same. The second thing is the risks of his layout. All of its factories are situated in a narrow zone prone to earthquakes. Hey, actually, the potential risks involved in this situation cannot be ignored. Well, of course, what impact will your words actually have on their actual operations? In fact, I believe he is doing hedging and taking protective measures. However, once an earthquake occurs, it will undoubtedly have an impact and significantly shock the company's stock price. For investors, these represent potential risks. Thirdly, I don't personally have a strong preference for certain technology manufacturing stocks. Yes, because their valuation is very limited. Now TSMC's PE is more than 30 times tighter. It's not even, actually. But just, hey, how much room do you have in your words? I'll give you 10% more, okay? What? This type of work costs just 220. Well, actually, it's all cool, and I appreciate that you've reached this point, so, hey, for the time being, I don't have too many strong feelings about the current stock price or its fluctuations. Okay, well, we all still have a little time left, so during this time we can discuss a wide variety of different topics. By the way, I want to bring up something interesting. Have you ever heard of the term Type 2, which is often referred to as a TikTok refugee? No, what's going on?
Haven't you seen it? While searching for this specific information today, I realized that I genuinely enjoy the Little Red Book quite a bit. But it's Xiaohongshu we're discussing. Waiting for its developments, I think. No, it's not actually going to be listed in Hong Kong as initially anticipated. It feels like it has missed the optimal opportunity to maximize profits. What's the explanation behind this? What are you really talking about? Because in fact, TikTok, as you all know, if nothing unexpected occurs, it will likely be removed from available platforms in the United States.
You can obtain it even after selling.
But he didn't want to, so he just grabbed hold of her and tasted it tightly. But it's just so kind of, and at home in TikTok class, these various users engaging actively. Most are from Europe and America. Recently, while using Xiaohongshu, I noticed some odd explanations. I follow several American YouTubers and accounts, and I thought about how their explanations might fit on Xiaohongshu. Maybe I should open an account there. Taste this. Hey, it turns out that it was because they were surprised that TikTok was deleted, so there was no account. Xiaohongshu has recently welcomed many TikTok refugees, leading to a significant expansion of English content on the platform. This influx of new users has enriched the community and diversified its offerings. Hey, what I suddenly mentioned is, hey, I have been trying to find some related concept stocks, which include perhaps some companies in the video sector, or possibly those who have made investments in Xiaohongshu. Could you please keep an eye on a group of influential individuals or major players in this space? In this manner, several of China's Xiaohongshu A-share concept stocks have surged dramatically, reaching the stop board in the past 2 trading days. Yes, do you think there is truly such a distinct and strong short-fried smell? Taste this.
What is his business model?
In fact, how does Xiaohongshu make money?
No, I only collect commissions as my primary role. Then Xiaohong asked, how much do you charge?
Whose commission?
Well, that's it. With Xiaohongshu, in addition to creating engaging short videos and informative articles, you can also open your own online store. If you open a shop, you have to pay the listing fee. Okay, it's okay, and it's selling products, it's okay, it's selling products. Furthermore, you may also choose to invest some funds in purchasing advertisements to significantly boost the visibility and readership of your articles or similar content.
Where did these advertisements come from? Oh, okay, it's a strip, it's like I Google.
Yes, okay, that's right. So that's what it looks like. Do you have it? Do you think it is possible? It is possible because your A shares are already being traded. You don't have the Hong Kong version, the little red book, no. Yes, now there is a Chinese version which is used all over the world.
No, Shaman did it herself. Yes, if that's the case, your growth space is very limited, actually. Hey, if Xiaohongshu uses its own authentication model to expand overseas, it will be very difficult for it to match this one. This one, TikTok, isn't it?
Hey, but I read some reports in mid-October last year. They all talked about its profits, but in fact they were exaggerated. They increased 4 times year on year. With him, you think it's 2019? It's alright, but it will gradually increase, so it should.
Oh, but the problem is, does TikTok have an overseas version? TikTok itself has an overseas version.
But Douyin has an overseas version.
And is there any overseas version of Hong Kong's Xiaohongshu? No, Hong Kong is not overseas. Hong Kong is the same as the local area, and it is the same as the country. It is within the territory, and it is within the territory and outside the country, but it is the same country. Yes. Hey, your Xiaohongshu is different from Xiaohongshu. If you use the domestic certification model, it will actually be difficult for you to expand the market overseas.
Hey, what's the reason? Because actually foreign countries haven't followed your Xiaohongshu yet.
In fact, one by one, it will happen sooner or later. First, second, you need a real name authentication to transfer back to Xiaohongshu. Everything is you have to prove your identity and so on. Do you have it? Xiaohongshu account?
I do, but that's because I'm in Shenzhen. No, it's because my colleagues in Shenzhen are making fun of me. Why? Because I was in the earliest batch. I had already opened the account in 2019. Follow me, but I am negligent in management. Follow me, it doesn't matter, but I have always been interested in Xiaohongshu as a platform. At that time, I thought it would be a hit. So your colleagues in Shenzhen teased me asking, why didn't you open a Xiaohongshu account? Then you can find some yanzai to eat now, that's it.
No, it's so hard to say, but it's just your Xiaohongshu account. If you want to leave a message, publish a film, etc., it's not that easy. You are an overseas resident. People.
I mean, no, I don't remember whether I registered with my real name when I applied for a Xiaohongshu account. Even if the audience knows it, they can talk about it. Because it's too impatient, it's the same thing, but it's like real name registration, It's actually good. What do you think? What do you think?
In this case, you should not underestimate the challenges of its content review, the future development of its model. The first is that your content censorship actually has a chance, that is to drive away customers. The second is the market. The second is the culture. So all platforms in China, all these platforms overseas have an overseas version. Yes, there is an overseas version. Yes, this first one is different. Hey, actually, if you turn your head, you will be waved at, right? You are saying today that you are going to TikTok, and you will say the same thing tomorrow that you are going to Xiaohongshu.
Well, you are right, you are right.
Here you go, hey, he drove TikTok away, hey, it's the United States. To put it bluntly, there is an act. No, it's not targeted. Of course you can say something, they just made laws to drive you away, so that's what you can say. Ah, but there really isn't, yes, rival countries, maybe. Hey, I don't know what kind of influence it has when it comes to software from rival countries. Oh no, I might have remembered it wrong for a moment. But hey, they have some legal grounds to target this type of platform.
So there is a chance to buy the next one from the Xiaohongshu series, yes, but fortunately, if you tell me this, it is not on the market. Taste this. It's not listed, so no one will put it down. Haha, there isn't such a big incentive.
Silly, the meme will go on the market as soon as you eat it. It will be free on the market, just follow it and leave, that's it. It's a joke. You must have made these big and unknown sculptures.
Yes, tastes like this. Yes. Oh, but no. Hey, but if I want to talk about it, it will only last 2 days. Because the TikTok ban is coming soon, Xiaohongshu has added 700,000 users in the past 2 days, just like that. Yes, then they talked about some topics such as exchanging food, youth unemployment, and some of the current situations such as the wildfires in California, USA. This is just to attract traffic foreigners. That's it. But if there are similar stocks in Hong Kong, there should be nothing. Except for Tencent. No, Tencent doesn't have Tencent. It doesn't live broadcast. Tencent doesn't live broadcast. What about Tencent? Tencent doesn't live broadcast. No, sorry, Tencent doesn't count. You should say so. Even if it has one, you can't count it if you look at its stock price. Looking at its stock price, it doesn't count.
Yes, it doesn't matter if you look at its stock price. We are trading concept stocks. Hey, it will always be the same as the one with the red top and the white one. It's not easy to find out. No, you are going against the trend. It doesn't matter if you look down. He seems to matter. It's not your fault that it doesn't matter. You must have Marquis to say that it doesn't matter to me. You will follow up first. You can make a watch list, I think.
Just check if there is any letter.
Hey, it's not on the podium, but when we are speculating in concept stocks, we must always remember this. Don't be tempted to look for pearls in the vast sea. If you want to find pearls in the vast ocean, you need to be mentally prepared. You need to sit and wait.
Yes, so I insist. After receiving this line from you today, I will find some recent Hong Kong stocks and see if there are any short-term trading opportunities for myself.
Because it's not fried yet, Hong Kong. I knew he had taken the line and told me first, but I couldn't hear what he said.
Well, I haven't gotten that yet, so I kept asking you, do you remember if there are any that count as something like Meitu?
Meitu doesn't count because Meitu is a Bitcoin concept.
Because you don't know how to hype up Weibo? Yes, Weibo is already in a half-dead state, and people in Hong Kong no longer use Weibo.
The Hong Kong stock market is basically in a half-dead state.
To put it bluntly, yes. You are right too. Oh, forget it, it's all about buying back Meta.
Buy back Meta, yes. Donald Trump buys Meta.
Sustim. You are so petty when you talk about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is for him. What? DJ Tia?
Nope. But this can be shared with everyone. From now on, our programs will talk more about US stocks. But there are pros and cons, so I may talk about it. That is, it may be a one-quarter investment, or it may be an investment to the end. I prefer to look at it from a certain valuation perspective, because the US stock market is a pretty good market. That is, it has enough market depth. Yes, with so many people playing, it is easier to reflect this valuation when more people play. There is something to play with, even short-term speculation. You can also use other different tools for short-term speculation. Well, this is what we can discuss in detail.
Hey, so the time today is pretty much the same. You will be visiting Hong Kong next week. Because some people just leave messages and talk, and you are like this again. You seem to be flying all the time. You are flying all the time. It is not just like flying to Japan or Singapore, or it is not just like flying to Singapore or Taiwan.
Hey, show me whereabouts.
Haha, you talk about your daily life. No, next week Ryan should come back to the live broadcast room and continue to do live broadcasts with us. Hey, I'm mentioning it to everyone because there is a banner at home. We have officially launched the trading function for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Hey everyone, if you are interested in investing in virtual assets related to investment, you can open an ed account and then apply for a virtual account and fill in some details. Hey, test is a questionnaire. Just follow it and you can start trading. We'll meet with Ryan again next week. Thank you very much, Ryan, for today.
Okay, bye. Hello, thank you for your hard work. Okay, bye.